And it wasn't just the story. It was almost exclusively because of Jim Carrey. His facial contortions and rubber-faced impressions kept audiences hooked and wanting more. In fact, by the time the movie was released on VHS years later, the title was even changed to Rubberface as a tribute to Jim's famous style. Meanwhile, his career continued to take off. He landed gigs in clubs across the United States, catching the eyes of Rodney Dangerfield. Impressed by Jim's raw talent, Dangerfield took him under his wing, signing him as his opening act on tour. News of the rising star reached all the way to Johnny Carson's Tonight Show. And by December 1981, the well-known Canadian comedian was waiting for a U.S. work permit ready to take his shot on the biggest stage in American late night. But fate had other plans. After auditioning for The Tonight Show, Jim again faced rejection, being told to refine his act. Though he was disappointed, he did not give up. Instead, he returned home where he already had a loyal following. But now he was headlining sold-out shows at Toronto's prestigious Massey Hall, opening for the legendary Rodney Dangerfield. At this time, he was no longer just a local star. He was on the cusp of something big, and I think he knew that. Because, as Jim Carrey said, "I was doing the same thing over and over." When people start saying your punchlines, it's time to move on. He said he got real panicky and left town, burned all of his bridges. And that moment is when his life changed forever.
And my next guest is a very talented and funny comedian. He starred in his own series last season called The Duck Factory. Please welcome Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey moved to LA and found steady work at a comedy club, then got a role on a short-lived NBC sitcom called The Duck Factory. He did his stand-up routine on The Tonight Show and even had a small role in Finders Keepers. Then that's when he came to the attention of producer Samuel Goldwyn Jr., who had a project called Once Bitten. If you haven't seen this one, I highly recommend you check it out. Jim Carrey's performance is quirky and endearing in this very strange movie about becoming a vampire. Sam Goldwyn already knew that he wanted Carrey for this role because he saw his stand-up. He was asked to read for the part even though the producer already made his decision. Maybe it was a stroke of good luck, but Carrey said he also worked well with the director Howard Storm, who had also worked with Robin Williams in the past multiple times, so he was accustomed to creative actors. As Jim Carrey said, he was pretty open to him fiddling about. Plus, he's a total freako. While the goofy charm of Once Bitten launched Jim Carrey into the national spotlight, his off-screen life was taking a more personal turn.